Hello, hello. Welcome to Tarot for Kindness. This is our fundraiser for all of our wonderful friends, everyone out there who wants to get a tarot reading. But we're doing a fundraiser every week. We do this to raise funds for seniors in Ukraine, seniors who are suffering with bombing, destruction, threats of danger, air raid sirens, winter cold, not enough money to buy food. I mean, it's really, and they're in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. There's many of them are disabled. This is like an unbelievable situation, and we're able to make a small impact, but a profound impact. Do you know the story of the starfish? If you pick up the starfish and throw it in the water, and there's 100 million starfish on the shore, what's the point? Well, the point is you saved that one starfish's life. So we can make a little bit of a difference, bring some joy and some brightness and some comfort and some nutrition to someone who is suffering. So this is such a beautiful gift. Whenever you guys do a reading, you're just bringing a beautiful gift into the world and beautiful light into the world. Not only that, you're getting a tarot reading. We charge $10. I charge $10 per card, but you get a bonus. You get a bonus. You get the Love Witch. So I'll do your reading for $10 per card. You can have a 1-card reading for $10, 2 cards for $20, 3 cards for $30, up to whatever amount. There's 78 cards. If you want a 78 card reading, just donate $780 and you can have it. But we can do a reading of any number of cards up to 78. But then you're going to get a bonus, which is the Love Witch is going to pull either Oracle or Tarot. Or what are you going to pull today?
Yeah, I have this great oracle deck called the Posis Oracle. It's really wonderful, simple, like one word cards. But each card has a really beautiful poem that is associated with it. So I'll post a link in the chat to where you can go find like the poem library, and you can read the poetry that goes along with the card I pull for you.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so if you are here if you are on any of the platforms, of course, you can donate through Venmo. There's a link right here where you can donate to Venmo. It's at Parlor of Wonders, PARLOUR of Wonders. At Parlor of Wonders, or you can use that QR code. We also have, you can make a donation through PayPal. There's the link for PayPal. It's at Madame Pamita. So my PayPal address is at Madame Pamita, MADAME, PAMITA. Or you can use that QR code. Or if you are on YouTube, I can't remember which one, YouTube, you can make a donation in the super chat. If you're looking at us on YouTube, you'll see a little button below that has it looks like a dollar bill on it. You can click on that and you can make a donation there. Wherever you make your donation, just go back into the chat wherever you are and write in where you donated, how much you donated, and what your question is. And then we can answer that question. So you can go ahead on any of these platforms, payment platforms, and do that. But just let us know where you donated, how much you donated, and what your question is in the chat, in the comments below of our live stream, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're, most of you guys, I think, are on YouTube. You can do it on YouTube. So yeah. So Vivian made a donation. Oh, and by the way, before we get started, yes, Vivian, you're going to be first. We also offer a little flash sale during this time. So this is a great, even if you're just popping in to say hi, you can see that flash sale. Our flash sale is on tarot and oracle decks. All of our tarot and oracle decks are on sale for you guys. You can get 15% off by using the code in the cards. You get 15% off tarot and oracle decks at the Parlor of Wonders. Go to parlorofwonders.com, just click shop, and you'll find tarot and oracle decks section. And you can use that code on as many tarot or oracle decks as you want. Now, if you're a Coven member, you get 20% off. Now, for you guys that are here, just not Coven members, you get 15% off, and your sale expires at midnight tomorrow, right? Or Tuesday, midnight tomorrow. For Coven members, the sale lasts all week. It lasts a lot longer, and you get 20% off instead of 15% off. You're going to have a different code, and you'll find that code either in your email or by going into coven.vip, and you'll see it in the feed. So Coven members, you get this great deal. everybody gets a great deal. Coven members get a little extra big great deal. So now's the
And
time to. Mhm.
oh, sorry, there's dozens of decks in there, so no matter how big of a tarot hoarder you are, there's sure to be something you don't have yet.
I know. There's some gorgeous decks in there, really gorgeous decks, and definitely ones that I recommend. So you can check it out. When we have everything from like the cute macabre tarot that has a coffin that you open and the coffin makes a creak sound when you open it, which is like, I love it. We've got like the Winter Seer tarot. We've got all kinds of cute Winter Seer Oracle. We've got all kinds of cute, amazing cards in there. So I hope you'll check it out and get some of those and bring those into your collection. And you get them at a discount. Pretty good deal. I think 20% is less than you could probably buy them anywhere. Really,
Yeah,
20% is probably. I mean, it's not even Amazon can compete with that. So use that code and really stock up on your tarot cards. So all right, so Vivian has a question, and
let's see, here we go.
I need to get my paper here. Okay, so Vivian, and by the way, if you would like to see where your donation goes, let's also share the Suboten Harbor thing too. You can add Suboten Harbor. Let's take off that. Yeah, there we go. This is where you can find out the seniors that you helped. So it's a great thing to do. Befriend Suboten Harbor on Facebook, and then they'll let you know. They'll give you a shout out and a thank you, and you can see the seniors that you helped. And it will be today. It'll happen today. So, all right. So let's see Vivian's question.
Yep, here we go.
It's a Madame Pamita evening brand. It's been so great seeing you, Vivian. You are absolutely glowing and gorgeous and beautiful, and it's great to see you. My third thing tonight, if you remember, I got the 7 of Cups in the earlier reading, and you said it was about making hell yeah choice. Now I'd love some clarification on that card to help me know what the right choice is and how I'll know when to choose to take action. All right, let's get some clarity on that. Yeah, we have what she's talking about, what Vivian's talking about is the Coven has what is called the Tarot Salon. And the Tarot Salon is a once a month. We do a 1-card pull for the month ahead. Also had a great reading the Love Itch the other day. Oh, that's awesome. You guys, you're in the same town. You guys,
not too far.
You're both New Yorkers. All right, so let's see. Here we go. All righty. Thank you so much for your donation, Vivian, too. This is awesome. You are not going to miss it. Like, you are not going to miss that choice. You're not going to miss that, because this is the first card that shows up is the Tower card. Tower card is like big neon lights saying like, this is the change you need to make. This is the choice you need to make. So I do think you're going to have some choices in front of you, but it's going to be like that. It's going to be really apparent. There's going to be a big shift around it. You're going to see it. It's not that it's negative. In fact, the cards that follow it are far from negative. In fact, what I'm seeing for you, this may be career oriented, you stepping up into more leadership or making your career more to your liking. So is it something that are you having a feeling like you'd like to move up, or you'd like to be more independent in some way? Because the following 2 cards are these 2. And here we have the Strength card, which to me has a very entrepreneurial spirit. This is the card of like really stepping into your empowerment and really kind of crafting something that is you're in charge. You are the one in charge. You are the one controlling it. So either you're moving up to some career level where you are in charge of others, possibly, but you're really in charge. And then the other thing that we see is the King of Wands, and King of Wands is about stepping up into leadership with passion and optimism. So that's why I think this is probably more career oriented than anything else. It really is stepping up into like your expanded role, into something that is really, I would say, like more right for you, more like in alignment with you. And it's going to like be very apparent that there's a choice. It's not going to be a subtle choice. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, there's this amazing opportunity. Now I have to decide, do I stay where I am or do I go for this opportunity? And it's something, with Tower card, it's something that may not be on the horizon for you. It may not be like you may not even know that that opportunity is on its way. It's going to show up suddenly. So it's like all you have to do, you have everything you now need to know to be prepared, because we have that 7 of Cups. We know that there's a choice, and the choice is to choose with your heart. We did during our tarot card pull, I pulled 7 of Cups, and then I was talking about how um, when you see 7 of Cups show up, it's a heart-centered answer. It's not a logical choice. It's a heart-centered choice. It's an intuitive choice. It's your heart saying hell yeah to something versus like, nah, yeah, I guess so. Right. All right. Yeah, I can do that. That's not what we're talking about. It's like looking at something and going, oh my gosh, this brings passion. This brings excitement to me. And that's what I see with that King of Wands energy. King of Wands is like super passionate, super excited about it. Like you get up every morning and you can't wait to get to work because you're really passionate and energized and motivated. And I do see you having more of your own like control over it. So it might be an opportunity for you to do something that is really about you, like instead of being in an organization or a big kind of institution of some kind, it may be about you stepping more up into your power as an independent individual with with your own private business, private practice, and all of that. So that's where I see some opportunities showing up, is in more of something that you can create, that you have this entrepreneurial energy around. And so bringing that in is where it's going to show up. It feels very much about career because of those 2 cards, King of Wands and Strength. And so this is about you seeing that choice and taking that leap and going into something that is exciting for you. It's very, very exciting to see. So I love that. Does that make sense? I mean, it's something, honestly, it may not make sense to you now because of that Tower card. Like you may not even see it coming. That's why I say like, hey, it might not make sense to you right now, or it may be a little like, I'm not sure what that is, because it's something that comes so unexpectedly. That opportunity comes from such an unexpected and instantaneous place. So it may make sense to you a little bit now, but it's really going to make sense to you as we move into the month of February. So yeah, I love that. I love that. All right. So anything? Oh yeah, you're going to pull a card. That's right.
Yeah, it's pulled a card too. And people have like such negative connotation to the tower, but every time I've had like a tower moment in my life, it was the universe knowing that my idea of the best wasn't the best. It was like, oh no, there's much better. We got to show you the better. So it really is this like amazing opportunity to level up and to get something that's even greater than what you've been dreaming of. I think it's work related too. I pulled this card that says connect. And this is about like the personal touch that we bring to things and the connections that you make with people and like the ripple effect that has across the entire world, right? Like even if we just have a small conversation with someone, it can uplift their day and inspire them to go do something great that we'll never even know about. But all these things are happening every day, and as long as we're like putting ourselves out there and bringing our best self to everything, we can create giant waves in this like crazy ocean. So yeah, I definitely think it's work related, and I think it's going to be super, super apparent as soon as it happens, like you said.
Yeah, it's amazing. One of the things in talking about the Tower card and Tower card in career, I had a Tower card moment. I can tell you my second Tower card this week. Exactly. I mean, this is like for you to embrace that amazing transformative change that is coming. This is like great, because what I see following it is so empowering. The Strength card and the King of Wands is like great. This is like bring it on, right? But what I can tell you, like from Tower card, now, not to say that this is the template for all Tower card experiences. Every Tower card is different, right? But I pulled Tower cards and I was like pulling Tower cards. I'm like, what is this? And at that time, this is many years ago, I was a librarian, a high school librarian, and I liked that job, but there were a lot of things I didn't like about that job. I had kind of crummy bosses, to be honest with you. Bosses weren't the great. The kids were great. The books were great. I loved that part of it, but the bosses weren't so great. And I was away from my kids every day, and I wanted to spend more time with my little ones. They were little back then, right? And so, I was kind of like, well, maybe when they get to high school, they can go to this high school and I'll see them more. I mean, that was like the sad little sad sack thought I had about that because I really couldn't see a way to get out of that situation and into something else. And guess what happened? They decided to replace my job with a minimum wage worker and out I was, right? And they're like, I'm like, I can't work for minimum wage. So that was the end of that. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm doing tarot readings. Maybe I'll just do this, on the side until I figure out what my next move is, or I'll get my next library job, or I'll get a teaching job again, or something like that. And guess what happened? As soon as I started tarot reading, I never went back. I never looked back. From that moment forward, I never had another job where I was working for someone else. It was like the universe. Yeah, at that moment, I was like, oh my God, this is scary. Even though I wasn't loving that job, I was still scared, like, crap, I got to find a job. I'm a single mom. But I just leaned into my passion, and my passion was tarot. And I even leaned into it a little lamely. Like, I'm like, well, I'll just do this till I figure out what my next move is. And there was no next move ever. Never had to work for another person again, which was awesome. I have to say, no more bad bosses anymore, right? So anyway, I just want to share that as like how Tower works. It was unexpected. I was expecting I was going to work there for years and years till, I retired. And here this moment comes, and it what seemed in the moment like a super scary shakeup thing actually opened up everything good. So just remember that. I don't think it's going to be a shocking bad thing. It's not going to be that, but it's just going to be a sudden opportunity that you don't see coming, and it's really going to open up so many good things for you. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So it may not be on your radar right now, but you're going to have that great opening up moment, and it's the universe direct kind of pushing you along to where you need to go to bring that sense of fulfillment, to bring that happiness, to bring that contentment. This is what you can do. So
And look at
wonderful.
you. You were in one library and now you're in hundreds, plus bookstores and homes.
Exactly. Like none of my life as it is, I didn't even imagine this life. Back then, I was doing tarot readings for parties. I was doing a little vaudeville show with tarot. I was like a hobby jobby for me. I was just kind of like doing a little bit here and there, but certainly nothing that I could then see on my road. Like I didn't go like, I'm going to be a full-time tarot reader. No way. That wasn't even something I could conceive of. Not even conceive of it. But then when that happened, it forced me to get into that, okay, I got to figure out something. Then I started doing readings for people. Then I got an office and I got a shop, and, then I got book deals and all the other things. So, the rest is history. So just when you have that opening up moment, just go for it, because it's going to be opening up so much beautiful empowerment. I love the strength card. I love the King of Wands is about you really being solidly in your passion and being empowered in your passion. It's super optimistic. That the King of Wands is an optimistic guy who's like, or gal, who is really living their like creativity and their passion. What could be better? Vivian, you are a brilliant, passionate, vibrant person. You should be living that, beautiful, vibrant life in your career and really feeling like empowered in your career. So if career is feeling a little, it's like humdrum or something like that, there's going to be this wonderful opportunity coming your way, and it is not on your radar. It is not on your radar right now. So that's the thing. It's like, wow, when that comes up, you're like, okay, yeah, does it make sense? No, it might not make sense right now because it's not on your radar right now. Just like if someone said to me, you're going to be a tarot professional, full-time tarot reader and write books about tarot, I'd have been like, you're crazy. Are you kidding me? How do I get there? What do I do? I wouldn't even know what to do. But when push comes to shove, you're in it and you just do it. And then all of a sudden hey, wait a minute, I don't have to get another job. So I love that. I love that.
Me too.
All right. So our next one, thank you so much, Vivian. Oh my
Thank you,
gosh. Thank you so
Vivian.
much for your donation. And it's going to help these beautiful seniors in Kyiv and Zaporizhia who are, getting these food packages. $40 feeds a senior in Ukraine for 2 weeks. They get these food packages that supplement their very meager income. And I'll tell you something, the stories that you hear about the team that goes and delivers the food. Sometimes they come to these houses and they have nothing, not even a old stale crust of bread. There's nothing in the house for them to eat. And these people don't have a way to get out and work. They're some disabled, or they're in their 80s and 90s. They don't have family taking care of them. It's like, this is like such a beautiful blessing that you're giving, and we so appreciate it. You know, they appreciate it, and I appreciate it, because I care about, you know, people all over the world that are suffering. And this is one, you know, we see all these fires that need putting out, but let's focus on one fire. Let's focus on one thing and make one little drop of positivity in a very scary times for lots of people. You know, this is a way we can do that.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful way. And, you know, I think like for me, I've had such special connections with a bunch of old women who aren't here anymore. And every time we come together and do this each week, I feel like this is such a beautiful way of honoring them, you know, even though they didn't live to know what's going on right now, or, you know, even like, you know, there was a war in Ukraine, they would be so proud of like all the work that we're all doing together. And I know that like everyone here's grandparents who aren't around anymore, great grandparents, and all our ancestors are just smiling so big, knowing that we're taking time out of our days to do something good.
The Love Witch and I are fans of seniors.
Yeah.
I've always been my whole life. My mom
My
used
first job was, my very
yeah, go
first
ahead.
job was at a tea house, and our average customer was like 82. So they would invite me on their boats, and I would go over to their houses.
Oh my gosh, how cute is that? Oh my gosh. You know, my mom used to say she thought it was so odd and remarkable that she told me this. She said, when you were a little girl, we would be in like a farmer's market, and you would say, Mom, buy from the old lady over there. Like, I want her to like support the old ladies. I like kind of fascinated by them, but I just always have loved
It was
old
Baba Yaga
people.
whispering in your ear.
I know.
Been
Totally.
around for a long time with you.
I know. I'm on my way. I can't wait till I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady already, but a really old lady. I want to be like, that'll be in 20 years, you know, when I'm really like wrinkled and
Yeah, I
crony.
can't wait to push around walkers with you.
I'm a baby crone. I'm a baby crone right now. All right. So what's our next one? I can't get the thing to pop up. Maybe I'm not. Oh, there it is. I
I've got
see
our
it
next
now.
one right here.
Okay.
This is a two-card reading.
Vicky, thank you so much, Vicky. Yeah, I see now. I just had my window was too low. Bob asked me out on 4 dates already and hasn't made any moves. So 1, what is Bob's true feelings for me? What's his intention for us? 2, if he does like me, when will we officially become an item? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. My sense is Bob might be a little intimidated by you. Like, it might be like you're too beautiful, and because you are beautiful, Vicky, you know, you're gorgeous and beautiful, and he may feel like a little like nervous about it. So you might want to encourage him to make a move, or to, hey, you know, ask him for a kiss goodnight, or do something like that. I mean, this could be a great way to get things started, is just to kind of you know, maybe you make the first move. I know I'm old school too, and I want the other person to make the first move, but maybe, you know, you can at least encourage it, you know. This is so interesting. All right, so all righty, let's see what we got here. Oh, you know, this is like this is really interesting. We've got 9 and 10 of swords.
Oh
And
my
I'm going to
gosh.
tell you about this. He's got some baggage that has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know, or you guys have talked about his relationship history, but he was super betrayed in a relationship in the past. That's 10 of swords energy. It's like deep betrayal. He has some real trauma about relationship, and real trauma about getting hurt again. I mean, that's this, you know, 9 of swords is like, I'm so worried about it. What if this happens again? All this anxiety and unnecessary worry. So he's got tons of anxiety, and the anxiety is related to a past relationship where he was betrayed by someone. And so he is very nervous about getting started because of this trauma. So it may take him longer to get started, or to feel safe with you, or to feel comfortable with you, that you're not going to bail on him, or stab him in the back, or run off and cheat on him, or do something like that. So he's got some real stuff that he's dealing with. And I just want you to be aware of that and maybe have a talk about it. Ask him about, if you haven't asked him about his relationships of the past, ask him about his relationships about the past. Maybe he'll open up to you and share those things so that you can reassure him that that's not you. Remember, this is like one of those situations where I say the current person is paying the price for the crimes of the person before. You didn't do anything to him. You haven't done anything, but he's so traumatized by this experience that he had that he doesn't even want to begin because he's afraid. He's afraid, I'm going to jinx it. What if I open up my heart and then I get it trampled on again? So one of the ways I think that you can work through that is by really, what I would say is like opening up about it. Maybe you can start the conversation like, you can start a conversation like, well, has he been married before? I mean, I don't know if you've talked about that, or what was his last relationship like and why did it end? Start initiating those conversations and share some of your own experiences where you have, can express what you've gone through and also express, that you want to have that sincere relationship. So I think talking about it, I'm not going to say I think, talking about it will definitely lower anxiety, because when we are in our heads about something, we can make this giant big monster and we are like, oh my gosh, that horrible, horrible thing. But then when we talk it out with someone else, we can see it actually isn't as big and bad as we think it is. And we can see, that there are, that we can confront that monster, that we can move through this, that we will be okay. But it's like a little kid. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. His ex left him suddenly when their son was 2. So you know the story, right? So this is what is going on for him. So I would say, share some of yourself and your own experiences and let him know, that you're really looking for that serious, committed relationship, and that you too have suffered, in your life, in your past, hey, I'm going to say we've all been the person that's gotten left. We've all had that experience of being dumped, unless you're a chronic dumper, and I know that's not you, Vicky. We've all had that experience, and we can sympathize with someone, and we can also help them to embrace that experience, but not let that experience define them. To not let that experience have control over them. So, yeah, but I also say he may be anxious about, kissing you because he's probably afraid of opening that door, but then also afraid of like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful and so magical, and what if I blow it? I mean, there can be all kinds of anxiety about that. It might even be anxiety about performance. I think that for guys there can be, especially like, what if I don't satisfy my partner, can be a big worry. For anybody can be a big worry, but I think even for men, because you gotta like be on it, right? And so, and looking at that, that may be another thing so he's got anxiety, that's for sure. He's got this betrayal in the past. So I wouldn't push for like jumping into bed right away, but if you want to cuddle, kiss, and do that, and that hasn't started yet, you can initiate that, and then just, sort of let nature take its course at that point. But yeah, but that's the thing. He's really afraid of that betrayal and afraid of that loss. And he feels like he got totally burned and he doesn't want to get burned again. So this is kind of an indication of the anxiety is an indication of how deeply he feels, towards you. So, but yeah, poor thing. He needs a lot of like TLC to get over this. But I also think talking about it is probably the best thing you can do, just to have a talk.
Yeah, I think what you need to keep reminding yourself, Vicky, is he's ended up in the best possible place for somebody who's going to take good care of him and who can understand what he's been through and be patient and compassionate with him. It's so funny. Like when you showed those cards, I like started laughing because it's just so in line with what I pulled, and it sounded like you were reading the card I pulled, because I pulled this card called Chaos. And as you were talking about, sorry, his anxiety, I was seeing his head like just filling with so much stuff as soon as like he starts to even think about making a move or progressing things further. He's just got all these fears and anxieties that start like bubbling over the pot, and he just can't function. So I think, like you were saying, sharing about your experiences, how you've been through stuff too, so that it's, if it's mentionable, it's manageable, right? If we can
Yeah.
talk it out, then all of a sudden it doesn't, it's not this scary monster anymore, and it's just something that we can work through. But I also think you need to keep in mind what he's been through, keep in mind how scary this must be, and realize that maybe some of the things that aren't registering as moves to you are things that he's seeing as making a move. You know, maybe asking you out on 4 dates was a huge step for him. So you
Yeah.
gotta just help him to take that next step, help pull him across the threshold or whatever,
Yeah.
how you want to view it. But yeah, I think it's definitely just a case of anxiety, and it's something that he's gonna get over, and it'll be another one of those situations where, like, once he has squashed this a little bit, it's going to become so much easier to squash it the rest of the way. And you're going to help him through it.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the other thing is, if you are friendly enough, you can finally get some answer. Thank you. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I mean, if you're friendly enough at that you are going out and doing things in real life, I mean, you can give someone a hug goodbye and then that hug linger a little bit longer. And
Mhm.
then that can kind of let someone know that you're interested. So it can be really subtle. But I think the really big thing here is take it slow, because this is somebody learning to trust again. And learning to trust can be a really slow process. Like they have to really feel secure with you. And so, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what you want to, like, don't push for, like, a commitment, or push for um, you know, intimacy or any of those other things. Just like take it really slow, but have that kissing and romance and cuddling and all those things. Those things, I think, you're after 4 dates, you're ready for those things, but you don't have to push for those bigger things because he is terrified. He's
Yeah.
terrified.
I think too, like, see it as a sign of respect, because like if you haven't ridden a bike in 10 years, is it a safe and smart idea for you to try riding one for the first time in the freeway? No, it's not smart. So he's being smart and he's taking the steps that are appropriately sized. And maybe you'll need to hurry him along a little bit at some point, but just in little small increments, not like pushing him through or
Yeah.
snatching the training wheels off just out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, not quite ready for that. But yeah, it's very sweet. Yeah, and I think this is what it's going on for him. He really has some trauma from the past, and so, he's just cautious. So, yeah. But I think a kiss would be all right. Holding hands would be all right. Those things are sweet. And you could start it with giving a hug goodbye and holding that hug, lingering a little bit longer on that hug, you know? And that kind of gives the clue, like, oh, wait a minute, this is more than a friend hug. And that's a very, I think, safe thing to do. So, yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Vicki. Thank you so
Thank you,
much for your
Vicky.
support. And the seniors, thank you too. All right. Who do we have next? We have
John and
John and Tiffany. John and Tiffany. Ah, okay, you guys. And let's put up, should we, well, we'll do this after this. Don't forget, after this, we'll post the Saboten Harbor Facebook page, and you can befriend Saboten Harbor, and you will get a link. You'll get a thank you. Sorry, you'll get a thank you, a shout out from Saboten Harbor for the seniors that you helped. So you can see the seniors that you helped. We sent Venmo, one card reading for John and Tiffany. Should we pursue our idea for a project involving the sacred union? Not only should you, but what's going to help it along? What do you need to know about it? We can answer all those even in one card. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at this. The Magician card.
How great.
If you can dream it, you can make it a reality, right? As above, so below. That's what the Magician says. Anything that you envision for this, you can create. And I would really, really, really work with magic. I would work with magical support. If you do any kind of magic, manifestation work on it. I'm guessing that you guys have some kind of, if you're following me, what law of attraction is, what magic is. I don't have to give you the 101, but what you want to do is to do some magic to support this. it's interesting because the sacred union, the magician card is the number one card. It's the beginning of your journey. It's like the Fool is the prequel, and then the journey really begins with the magician. And so this is about, when we look at the number one, the one is a solid unit. It is a single unit. So your sacred union as a single unit is what you want to be focusing on. Do some work of visioning work. It could be making a vision board. It could be doing witchcraft and magic, or doing something like that to make this a success, to get it out in the world. But this is really a card about that manifestation happening. So whatever you're envisioning, your idea that you're envisioning is going to be made into reality. You just have to do your magical work. You have to connect to spirit. That's that. And really be focused on it. Just, giving it positive attention. There's a bazillion ways that you can manifest. I'm not going to even go into all of them, but you can do things like because the two of you are doing it together, you can do a really, really, really fun manifestation activity that is so empowering to your vision. So, John and Tiffany, I want you to play the as if game. It's a manifestation exercise. I want you to talk about this project as if it is already happening and already successful. So, John and Tiffany, you can say, "Hey, John, oh my gosh, I didn't tell you the good news." And John goes, "What is the good news?" "Oh my gosh, we just got a whatever, a huge contract, or they made our thing into a movie, or we're going to write a book, or we're going to do whatever it is that you're envisioning for it." And John goes, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing news. Yeah, and they're going to do this and this and this, and there's going to be this and that." So you speak about the vision of what you want to create as if it's already here. You guys will be giggling as you're doing this. It is the most fun, which is a great giggling energy is great energy for manifesting. It's happy, it's bubbly, it's light, it's optimistic, it's all the things that you need. But it's going to be so fun, not talking about what you want to do. Oh, like we should do this or we should do that. That's part of the process. But when we're working on manifestation, we want to be embodying it, feeling the feelings as if it's already here. That's really going to really give some energy to your vision. And you'll have such a delightful time doing it. It is, I swear, I do this game with my friends, and every time we do it, we are laughing hysterically because it's funny, because it's like, but it's also joyful. It's like joyful giggles. So that's the way to do it. That's a great exercise that you too, because you're a duo. That's a great way you can bring that manifestation in for this, and you can have so much fun with it. It can also be like a great way to come up with ideas, because you'll be like, oh, now I see that we're going to have a book. So now I'm kind of thinking about this and how we can make it a book or a movie or whatever the project is. So yeah.
That's so fun.
What did you get? Yeah, I know. It's such a fun way to work. It's really a fun way to work.
Something I love about the magician being both like the first card, like the number one card, but also not the first card, is whenever we're creating something magically or practically or whatever, we're never actually starting from zero. We're always bringing everything we've got to the table, whether we mean to or not. But so we're never really starting anything from scratch. And I mean that in like a very encouraging way, right? Where it's like you always have like a foundation that you're building on, and we've been strengthening that foundation our entire life. I pulled this card that says create. So this is a huge yes. And I think like the sense I get from this card is, as you're working on this project, look up like, people that are really significant to the project and like icons, heroes for you for this project who aren't here, and call in their spirits and invite them to send you the very best ideas, invite their muses who gave them their ideas to really come and play with you and bring a sense of like joy and fun to this. Because like,
That's
what is more
wonderful.
fun than creating, right? So that's like what I love about Slavic magic, is to do these things, you've got to be in this happy state. You got to bring that energy to that item. So treat your project like that. And when you start feeling stressed out or burn out for the day, stop talking about it, walk away from it so that it stays fresh and fun.
Yeah, that's beautiful advice. I love that. Yeah, you get a big yes from the universe, and this is the direction, the little details of the energy that you can bring to it to really make it happen. And I think it's so insightful that you say the magician card is not the first card of the tarot. I think of like the Fool card as that first card of the major arcana. It's a 0 card. It's like the potential. It's like the dream. It's actually like being open and open to anything. And the magician being like the first step, right? Oh, yeah. We're stoked to manifest our vision. I love that. Yeah. I think what you want to do is really just feed that vision in a lot of ways. And that playful conversation, the as if game, I call it, playing as if it's already here, playing as if it's already the thing that you want. That can be such a really playful, joyful way. And since there's 2 of you, you don't have to find someone to do it with. That's the thing. I mean, I have friends that I can do it with and we have fun doing it, but also, you got your friend right there to do it with. So yeah.
I have another fun suggestion that me and a friend used to do, and now I'm like, I need to text her as soon as we get done here, and we need to start back up on it. But we would put on our calendar like group meditation, and so before that day came up each week, we would text each other and be like, okay, this is what I'm really manifesting right now. These are like what my goals look like and what I'd like to achieve. And then we'd spend 30 minutes meditating. And for the first 15 minutes, I would picture the things I want. And then for the second 15 minutes, I would picture the things she wants. So I'm like sending and receiving, and she would be doing the same at the same time. So even though we're on like different coast and don't get to speak often, we have this like little magical time that we spend together where we're like co-creating together. And I think like sometimes it's easier to dream bigger for other people because we see the potential in our friends so much easier than we see it in ourselves. So having that like backup support from like a magical buddy, I think is really a great thing to try.
I love that so much. That's such a lovely thing. And I also think, this is like I'm really getting into because I'm teaching these classes on the magic behind the magic, and I'm really getting into the energetics of magic. We use our chi, our life force, our energy, the force of our own self to sort of start the magic. But we can get we can have magic lent to us and energy lent to us by so many other things, other people, animals, nature, plants. I mean, all of these things, colors, all of these things around us can lend their energy to us to empower our spells and our intentions even more. So it's like amazing to work in that way. Want to remind you guys that the seniors that we're helping, you can actually see photos of the seniors that you are helping by going and adding Subotan Harbor as a friend on Facebook. They post Yulia and Yvonne, more Yulia now, running the show. There are a couple, Yulia and Yvonne, and Yulia is posting the pictures of the seniors and who you're helping. So you can actually see the people that you helped by checking this, by adding Subotan Harbor and then checking out their posts later tomorrow. You'll see who they helped earlier today. Yeah. Oh, I just did That's Beautiful Love, which we just did the Wishcraft workshop, and it's been so fun. Absolutely.
It was
That's
such
what
a
it's all
great
about.
workshop.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I really, really encourage you. And I'm not saying this because I want to drum up business from these classes. I'm just saying these classes are really profound, like under the surface kind of magic. Like, what is the stuff that you bring to your magic? The next one that we're doing is about, do you remember what it's about? I don't remember what it's about, but it's going to be, I don't remember what, I mean, I'm the one that should remember,
I know what
but
they all are, but I don't know the order.
yeah, I can go and look it up real quick. But these classes, I mean, I know what they all are, but I don't know which one is next either. These are classes that are about foundational energy magic underneath your spellcraft, underneath your intentions, underneath all of those things. So it's such a deep, deep way of working. And really, like, if your spells have not been as powerful as you want them to be, this is how to get them to be that. So the next one is going to be
Magic words and incantations.
which one is it?
Magic words, incantations, and
Oh, magic
enchantments.
words, incantations, and enchantments. That's right. So we're going to be working on all of the ways we can use our words to empower our magic. It's a really, really a fun workshop. It's going to be great. So hopefully you'll join me for that. And that will be sort of 3 weeks from now, so ish, about 3 weeks from now, we'll have that going on. So more or less. All right. So next we have Devon. Oh, Devon, I'm so happy to see you. I've missed you too. Oh my gosh, Devon, I've missed you too. You're my magical little Gemini fairy. Thank you so much for your donation. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. General energy, what should I be focusing on this week ahead? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. You're feeding a whole senior.
It's incredible.
Oh my gosh, $40 feeds a senior for 2 weeks. These beautiful people that are really need our help and are suffering. So it's like you're making a huge difference in somebody's life. What a blessing. And that blessing will come back to you, you guys, 100%. All right. Okay. I really like this. Oh my gosh. I love this, Devon. Really good week for you. All right. So here's what I see. First of all, Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is a card about really staying like, um, it's a card about like being confident and being confident that you are safe in particular. Like this guy's holding on to these gold coins and he's really holding tightly. And this is a card about like your confidence and belief that you are safe and that all is well. Like it's your foundation, right? Think about this for a second. Pentacles are element of earth, strong and solid. Number four is about stability. So this is stability upon stability. Now, sometimes stability on stability can mean stuck energy, like you're not going forward because most likely you're afraid to like take a step out, or if I don't want to rock the boat, because if I rock the boat then things might fall apart or something like that. But this is saying you're stable and you're safe, and it's safe for you to take a risk of some kind, or it's safe for you to come out of your shell, or it's safe for you to do the thing that's like maybe a little bit of a stretch for you. So just remind yourself, like when you're in a situation, or if you're dealing with a situation where like you have to like do something that's out of your comfort zone, you're safe in going out of your comfort zone. You're totally safe. You're so grounded. You're so solid. Everything is so, don't get stuck in that energy. Just use it as a platform to expand. Use it as a platform to support you as you stretch or you grow, or you just go out of your comfort zone a little bit. Next card is like, yeah, it's not going to be about, anything dramatic change or anything like that. This is like stable growth. This is like slow and steady growth. I love this card showing up, Seven of Pentacles, because it represents this idea of like, if we tend to something, it will slowly grow and grow and grow. It's important to tend to something, like give it a little bit of energy every day. Is there just, I think a great thing for you to do would be like with these two cards, honestly, it's like, oh, what's that thing I want to reach for, but feels a little bit like out of my comfort zone? I'm just going to take baby steps out into that comfort zone. You don't have to take big leaps, really. You don't. You can just take little steps to nurture that dream, to nurture that, that thing that you want, or what it is that you want. All those little steps will add up to this great bounty. Like the farmer's sitting there going, oh, look at my gorgeous lush bush with all those gold coins on it. My money tree is growing, right? Or whatever. It's like you taking those little steps, step by step. You don't have to do something dramatic or big or, upheaval or anything like that. I think those little steps forward are going to be great. So good. Make time for yourself and self-care. Love this card for you. I feel the star card. Oh my gosh. We can go back to our video game and talk. We haven't talked about our video game, Love Witch, but it reminds me of going to the onsen. There's an onsen. It's like a hot spring, a hot spring that you go and sit in and you soak in it, right? And it's like going to the spa or taking some time for just stillness or self-care. Some self-care is so good at this time. So, this week, I'm gonna make a demand, Devon, that you schedule some self-care time. What is self-care to you? Is self-care spending time with loving friends? Is self-care going to a spa and getting a massage? Is self-care sitting down with a book and taking some time away from work and all the hustle and bustle? Is self-care working on a craft? You know what your self-care is. So do your self-care this week. It could be super cozy. My gosh, it could be sitting with a really warm blanket and reading a book, a really, juicy romance novel, whatever it is that you know is your self-care. Schedule some time for that self-care. You're going to schedule and make a date with yourself this week to schedule that self-care time for yourself, whatever it is. whatever it is, and just take that time to do that. Knight of Wands. Ooh, it's like passion and fire and action. I think after you do all of this, these little baby steps, taking this time for self-care, it's actually gonna, the self-care part, I think, kind of think of these as like two stories right here. And the self-care part is gonna lead to this like renewed energy, vigor, passion, optimism, excitement. So if, it's very typical at this time, at winter time, it's the time of like hibernation, right? But we also do want to get, be activated. I don't think it's like great for anyone to have seasonal affective disorder and the whole winter long just be like blah. And this is a real thing, being in the snow and, having, cold weather, you just want to kind of bundle up and, do nothing or whatever. But I think that giving yourself that bit of self-care is going to give you renewed energy. It's going to give you energy, enthusiasm, activate you, motivate you. So it's like a mini version of like winter spring within this week, where you give yourself some self-care, which is that winter time. I'm just going to be cozy and do something very sweet for myself and kind for myself. And then because I did that, I now have new energy to take on new projects, to go for it, to move forward and really move forward in bold ways. So I love this little story of like, yeah, you're going to go out of your comfort zone. You're going to build it step by step. You're going to self-care for yourself. And then you're going to feel like this burst of energy at the end of the week to get a lot done, to take on and tackle those projects that you've been putting off, or to do those bold moves in some way. So I love that. Yeah. Super sweet.
What a great set of cards.
Yeah. Right.
I love that so much. I have a similar project for you, Devon, but maybe you can do it next week if this week is too busy since Madam Pimita already gave you some homework. So, like maybe this is self-care, but I feel like it's a little different. I pulled this card for you. This is choice. And so this is about making strong choices that lead to the best destinations. But I think what's interesting in this card is like these choices are leading to places that look almost exactly the same to me. So sometimes we put like a lot of pressure on choices, but a lot of times we're putting too much pressure on choices and we just need to pick one and keep trucking. And so if I'm struggling to make choices or to be decisive, I like to do this thing. It's called getting lost. So I go get lost, and I used to do it in my car, and now I do it by foot because it's more environmentally friendly and I don't have a car. Otherwise I'd probably still be driving. But I just leave my house and I go somewhere where I don't quite know where I am. And then I listen to my intuition and let it tell me which way to turn. And I just go on a walk somewhere I've never been before, and I'm on the lookout for messages that are going to lead my choice or that were put in my path by my guides. And I get such incredible experiences from this. I did it yesterday. I was having like a rough afternoon. I was like, okay, I just need to get out of this house and see something fresh, even if it's really close to home. And so I just walked like 6 blocks, but it's just not like the normal 6 blocks I would walk if I was just like going to run errands or just taking a walk, like a different path. And at the end of it, I ended up seeing something that was like really magical to me. My grandmother passed at the end of last year, and frogs are really significant to her, and mermaids are really significant to me. And I walked 6 blocks from my house, and what did I see? A stained glass with a frog kissing a mermaid. So I think just going out there and making choices that are purely from your intuition and listening to what your spirit wants you to do and where it wants you to go is going to help you make better choices and decisions across the board.
Love that. Love that. Yeah. I think that
I also
comes
saw
with
this really cool house with like a million plants, and I was like, maybe I need a million plants. And I thought about all the watering, and I think I just need to walk by this house more.
That's a wild. I think it can come from that place. Maybe that choice is simmering for her. And you need to kind of put it, like you said, put it on the back burner for right now. But then when the Knight of Wands energy and that optimism and that energy and that comes in, that's that where the decisiveness comes in. Like, I'm going to go for it now. So you don't have to make that decision now, or like, love what you said, you can put it off. But I think the Knight of Wands energy is going to, like, that's when you're going. Those two go together for sure. All right. Next we have Mel, and then after Mel comes Ferial. So
Let's see. Hello, Mel and Imperial. I love both of you so much. I don't see Mel's question in the chat though. So Mel, if you want to let us know if you have a question, put that in the chat, and as soon as you do, we'll do your reading. But we'll go ahead and do Ferial's first since
Okay.
she already put her question in.
Okay. My question is, how will my team's meeting go with my son's social workers who are just a pain? A doctor at the hospital is causing issues because I am a Are you kidding me? And he is
That's so
homeschooled. Oh my gosh. Wow. You think nowadays people would be more enlightened, that they would, man, okay. And I know, like, I don't know too much about the NHS, but the NHS might not let you switch doctors or things like that. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, my gosh, you think, therapists and psychologists are usually more progressive people, but holy Toledo. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is actually a great card for you and a great, great message. We have 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is like that card. Nobody likes to see this card, but I love this card.
Thank you.
Because the deeper meaning of this card, the image on it doesn't look great. Nobody wants to be tied up and blindfolded and surrounded by swords. That is nobody's idea of a fun time. But the message of this card is this. This woman is standing there immobilized, thinking, I cannot get out of this. But if we take a closer look, that wrapping around her is not that tight. Look at, it's just like she could wiggle out of that. And she could wiggle her arms out and lift up her blindfold. And if she lifted up her blindfold, she would see that the swords are on her left and on her right. And there's just a little puddle at her feet. She thinks she's trapped, but she's not trapped. And so, Ferial, this is the situation that you need to know. In this situation, you are not trapped. And I would say to you to open up first, spiritually open up to, like, there's a way out of this situation. There is a way, it is possible. Like, this is limited thinking. Like, I can only deal with this situation that's right in front of me, right? I can only deal with this. And I would say get into the place where you're going to find the right doctor, the right care for your son, the right institution that you're going to work with. And if it's not this one, I don't know what part of, the country that you live in, or where, if there's another institution or another place that you can go and get help, then go get it. I don't know what the situation, I wish I knew more about NHS and how it works and all of that, but I don't, I just know, what we have here in the States. But what I'm saying is it's not as limited as you think it is. You are not bound to be with these people, and there is a way to get a different group of people who are more understanding, who are more progressive, who get it, and who are not giving you this grief and this pain. And somebody that gets that he's homeschooled, that gets that, all of these other, unique things about your, his experience, and not judging. I just say to you, we can be in the situation, and we're in the situation, and we're in the thick of it. We think we have to work with that. But I would say you're not trapped. He's not trapped there. You can get him into some other situation. So you need to find an ally. If you can find one ally in that organization, get an ally and get that ally to get you help. If there's no allies in that organization, go find another organization, explain your situation, and get him into a different situation that's going to be more helpful, where they're not going to be judging and not going to be, coming with their own belief systems and all of that. Yeah. Is it possible? I mean, Ferial, just go into chat and let us know if it's possible to get him. I mean, I would even say you might, at this moment, it's not possible.
This is great, actually.
Oh, I changed cities so the social workers are from a different county, so they won't be working on his case too much longer. Great. This is the thing you need to know. It's like the situation that you have is not, like, you're not trapped. You're not trapped here, and you can get out of this. So it's just like, I would also tell your son, keep him in the loop on all of this. Say to him, we're going to get you people that really understand, that are more compassionate, that aren't judgmental, and that understand you more, we're going to get you into a situation that's a healing situation for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I pulled this card that says open, and it shows this like open third eye, this open mind. So I really do think you're going to be partnered with somebody who is much more open to what you do, less judgmental, and is going to just be a much better fit across the board. I also get the sense though that like this card is telling you to open up your intuition, listen to your very good inner voice that is spot on about people. I know that you have that. So listen to that. And if you get the sense that the next person you encounter isn't this open person and is going to be judgmental or whatever, then you need to be more selective about what you tell them. You know, instead of saying, I'm a tarot reader, maybe you say, I'm a counselor, a consultant, something that like is
Life
true, but a
coach.
different person.
A life coach.
Yeah, a life coach, exactly. Something that's not going to have like a scary sound for them because they might have a connotation that's just not true. But I don't think you're even going to have to worry about that because I think you're going to be in much more open-handed or open-minded company, and they're going to take care of you. So I think this is just a little road bump, and it's something that was set in your past so that you can like have some stuff
Get
in
to
your
the
back
best.
pocket, and so
Yeah.
that you can get to that best outcome. And it's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really, I mean, when I look at this situation, of course, your son's healing is at the core of it, absolutely at the core of it. But I also say, well, the universe, oh, your son's a tarot reader. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can explain to him. I mean, if he's able to, say life coach too, maybe you
Mhm.
can say to him, look, we have to like kind of just say life coach until we get to know and trust people because we don't want them making judgments about you or making your life hard. And so this is a nice way that we can sort of suss out what's going on before we figure out like, is this person open-minded or not? I mean, I like will often say like when somebody I don't like I don't want to get into it with someone about what I do. They'll say like, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, "I'm a candle maker."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
make
got my,
it's
like,
true.
range of answers too that are all true answers, just depends on who's asking, you know,
Yeah.
because some
Yeah.
people are ready to hear, "I'm a witch," and some
Yeah.
people are not prepared to hear that, and they need to hear, like, "I'm a coach," or "I am," like, I don't know, other things I say,
Yeah,
but a
weirdly, when I
fortune
go to
teller, that
yeah.
sounds very, like, innocuous, I think, so
Well, when I go to, like, the doctors or places like that, it's weird, like, with doctors, I always say, "Yeah, I'm a
yeah.
candle maker because I just don't wanna get
Mhm.
into it with them. But then when I'm, like, with a therapist in LA, I will say, like, "Yeah, I'm a tarot reader," because I know they're all, like, into tarot anyway.
Yeah,
So here they are. But, yeah, for you, I think that, this is the universe redirecting you to the people that will be helpful to your son, and so it's painful for you and painful for him, and the wish of course is that it doesn't cause any harm what you're experiencing, but if it's pushing you to the right people, then trust that. And I think that's what really, and it's interesting because that 8 of Swords is exactly what that open card is, which is to open up your mind that there's other options, not just the option that's right in front of you, and not just the
yeah,
the,
and
the
here's
experience
what's
that's right in
interesting
front of
too, her eyes are covered, so even though her eyes are covered, she still sees, right?
you. Yeah.
Even if we've got a blindfold on, it doesn't matter because we can see,
Yeah.
with our senses. So allow whatever's holding you back to heighten your other senses and let your intuition lead the way.
Yeah, I think Farrell,
I
you're going to
never
be
even
in good
realized that
shape.
you can't see her eyes in this until you brought up that 8 of Swords. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we're all blindfolded here."
Yeah, so it's like knowing even when what's in front of you doesn't look great, that there's other options than this thing that you're experiencing right now, and you can get there.
Can I say
So
one more thing
mhm.
about that 8 of Swords? You were saying, being blindfolded and tied up and surrounded by swords is no one's idea of fun. Not true. That's somebody's idea of a really good time. And so remind yourself that, like, even if this situation sucks, there's parts of it that could be thrilling or exciting or someone would find really fun. So allow it to be a chance to like think on your toes and be like really energized and solutions oriented and look at it as like a fun and exciting challenge.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think if you look at that too, it's like there are resources that you're gaining from this experience that,
Mhm.
sometimes we have the resources, like we even see what we don't want so we can avoid it in the future. I mean, even that
Oh,
can be helpful. So if you're seeing like, I need to have, I would say I'm sure 100% sure you're advocating for your son. And so, as an advocate, like, that's not the kind of doctor I want. And you
mhm.
can advocate for yourself to get somebody, advocate for him to get somebody else that is more in alignment. And I think they have to provide, and they can't discriminate either. If there's a discrimination issue going on, you can bring that up to like an ombudsman or somebody who can, you can say there's discrimination going on. They're discriminating me because I'm homeschooling. They're discriminating me because I do tarot readings. And,
Yeah.
that when you say the word discrimination, I think that makes them perk up a little bit, let's just
It
say.
100% does. And I also think, like, look around for resources, like, look for other homeschooling parents, because I bet a lot of them have run up against the same problems you have. So maybe there's like a Facebook group or some sort of community forum online for homeschoolers in your area, and they might be a good resource even as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, when we have our kids, it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing that you wouldn't do for your kid. And it's like I mean, honestly, what happens to our kids probably stresses us more than it stresses out our kids, to be honest. So I have my heart is with you, and I have so much compassion for what you're going through. And be gentle with yourself and all this too. Be gentle with
100%.
yourself. You're doing a great job, Mama. That's what I'm going to say. You're doing an awesome job. All right. Do we have
Yes, I've got
message
Mel's
from
questions
Mel?
ready, and then we
Okay.
have Alex coming up
And then
after Mel.
Alex after Mel. Is there going to be a meeting Monday night? How will the week go, or whatever comes up to help manifest what I want? Thank you. Okay. So, the meeting is your meeting with somebody. Is that meeting going to happen? How will the week go, or whatever comes up to help manifest what I want? All right. And don't forget, if you want to see the people that you're helping, you can
Yeah.
add Subotan Harbor on Facebook. There you go. Click that QR code and you can follow Subotan Harbor on Facebook, friend Subotan Harbor on Facebook, and then they'll give you a shout out for your donation, and you can see the seniors that you helped. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, it seems like that you're a little worried about that meeting because we have the 9 of Swords showing up, which is like worry, anxiety, and stress about the meeting or stress about that. So I want you to see this little detail in this card as I bring it forward. Okay, 9 of Swords, worry, stress, anxiety, your head, like, spinning in your head, replaying tapes, and all of that. Um, Look at that vanquishing. There's a little sword fight going on here with one person vanquishing the other. And I think that is your sign that you need to vanquish this anxiety and vanquish this worry. There's nothing bad that's going to happen. The other cards are like great cards. So it's like it's in your head. So I think the effect that you're feeling like building up to all of this stuff is like you're worrying without like what you're worried about is not going to manifest, in other words. So what is it that you can do to vanquish anxiety? Well, your name is Mel Yoga, so you can do some yoga to release, right? You can do openers, like all those, openers, those open poses where you're opening, breathing exercises to release the anxiety. Also, affirmations, right? You could do affirmations while you do yoga. Oh my gosh, what an amazing combo, where you're saying, like, all is well, the meeting goes well. This is the perfect thing. Everybody's gonna get together and be working together on whatever it is that they're meeting about, and so on. So I think you want to put out some intentions to counteract and counterbalance and vanquish that anxiety and worry. What I see for the meeting is so good because 2 of Cups is like everybody sees eye to eye. Everybody is like on the same page. There's a great deal of love in the room. So when I see that like energy, it's like love in the room. It's like you're so supported as you go into that meeting. You're so supported as you go into your connections with other people this week. I mean, this is a card of heart to heart love. It can be romantic love, that might not be the meeting. It shouldn't be the meeting, probably, that there's romantic love. But it's like, it's also just heart to heart energy. If we take it to its like purest form, it's like people really seeing one another, really honoring one another, and being heart connected. So I feel like the experiences you're going to have is you're going to feel heart connections, which is another super big part of spirituality and yoga. It's absolutely a part of yoga. Um, Now, Page of Swords is new ideas, fresh ideas. I love this. It's like a fresh new start. It's a breath of fresh air. So, whatever you're thinking of in terms of what you want to manifest, it's like do not feed the negative spinning thinking. Let's starve that negative spinning thinking by feeding ourselves affirmations that are nurturing and nourishing to our dream and our goal. Be willing to go and meet with other people. When you meet with other people, you're going to come with that gentle, loving heart. They're going to come with gentle, loving hearts, and you're going to work together beautifully. And be open to that freshness, the freshness of the new ideas, the new projects, and new things that you will be working on, because that's going to bring great things. It's like the seed in the beginning, and it's this is like a spring breeze coming in, is the Page of Swords. It's like a fresh energy, cleaning out all the dust, all the old stagnant energy, and bringing in new. So I think you're worried. I get the sense that you're worried, but the worry is not going to come to fruition. And we want to replace that worry with kinder and gentler and more loving and more positive thoughts. And that's going to get you where you need to go for your manifestation.
100%. I think like our thoughts create realities, right? I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
So if our thoughts create realities, and we got to be careful what we're thinking. And if we're thinking, oh, this meeting's going to go terrible, nothing's ever going to work out the way I want, then we're like pushing the odds against us. And we're not our thoughts aren't the cause of every bad thing that happens or the cause of every good thing that happens, but it adds to the scale, right? So if we can be putting things on that good side of the scale every single day, we're going to get there faster. And every time we have a negative thought or something that creeps in that doesn't serve us, put twice as many positive things back on the scale to weigh it out. And slowly but surely, you'll start to have more positive thoughts than negative thoughts. I pulled the open card again. So I pulled another one, and it's this card that says change. So be open to positive change. Change can be scary, but it can be revolutionary and good. And you were talking about that Two of Cups is about being on the same page. Here we have the same page, right? And a book with all blank pages, meaning it's all room for fresh beginnings and like new, better energy and things that are replacing anything bad that you've been feeling. So fill up this book with really positive affirmations and nice things about yourself and the life that you want to have. And any sort of fears and anxieties and worries that you're having, counteract them whatever way you can. And
Yeah.
slowly but surely, it'll make a difference.
And I want to tell all the Virgos and other perfectionists out there that it is not that you have to be perfectly thinking positive thoughts 100% of the time. You can have a stray negative thought, but you want to catch it when you do and change it.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what your thoughts and your beliefs are, and then shift them into what is more productive. Just don't let your spinning thoughts overwhelm you, and don't keep feeding those negative thoughts. That's the thing we don't want to happen, because that's how you start tumbling down that
I mean,
hill,
I'm a Scorpio, so I can have really terrible thoughts at like all the time. I can do it, but that's why I'm the love witch. So I'm counteracting all that negativity with love, right?
Yeah.
And I can think something really terrible and then think, gosh, that's terrible. I have to do something really good now. So allow it to be fuel for you to like think positive thoughts and make good change.
Yeah.
Because like we're human and we're gonna like have bad thoughts about ourselves or about other people or about situations, whatever. That's human nature. But to then counteract it and to put good things in the pot behind it, that is magic. And that's superhuman.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think, in terms of the Two of Cups, is that there's people with loving hearts out there that will meet you with your loving heart. And that's the other thing to keep in mind, that you're not alone. Whatever your
Mhm.
project you're working on, there are people with loving hearts that are there to support you and to meet you and to receive your loving energy and to give you loving energy. I think that's such a beautiful card to show up for you. So, yeah.
I'm excited for
Yes.
you, Mel. It's going to be a good week.
Hmm. All right,
Before we
Alex.
move
We have
on,
Alex.
there's
Oh.
a little reminder that people can use code in the cards for 15% off tarot and oracle decks at Parlor Funders. I'm going to put the link to that category in the chat so you can click it and explore all the different, there's 78 items in that category, which is really funny because there's 78 cards in the deck. So I don't know if you kept adding until you got to that number intentionally.
What's that weird smoke behind you? That weird purple
Oh, this
haze.
is my house is just like filled with insomnia cures that didn't work. So this is my ceiling projector that I'm supposed to be able to stare at until I fall asleep, but I stare at it and just like can't get enough of it. So it keeps me up. So I have to keep it on during waking hours only.
That's so funny. It looks like a little purple fog
Like
behind
a
you. So
portal behind
magical.
me.
Yeah. Also want to remind people, what else do I want to remind people? If you want to join me, we every Sunday, except for the first of the month, so not next Sunday, we have live magic Q&A tea party. We've got that. If you want to um, join the live magic Q&A tea party, all you have to do is go to spellsquad.com, or you can go to this link right here. When you sign up, you will not only get the access to the live magic Q&A tea party where you can ask me questions about magic and spell work and all of that. You will get this free illustrated ebook, 32-page ebook, 7 Secrets to Supercharge Your Spell Work. It is a $20 ebook that you get absolutely free for signing up. And it's a beautiful book. Honestly, I still to this day think it's such a gorgeous book. And it's fully illustrated and will empower your spell work no matter where you are. If you're a beginning person with magic, if you're an advanced person with magic, we talk about the principles of magic and also like how you use these different magical tools. Like for example, with oils, I give beginning level, intermediate level, advanced level, and mastery level activities that you can do to use oils in your craft. So if you want to do spell work, if you want to do magic, or you're just curious about magic, why not slake your curiosity with a free ebook and just go to spellsquad.com, or you can click on that QR code and get that there. All right. So anything else? Oh, joining the coven. Let's talk about that. And then we'll get to
Yeah.
Alex.
I need to
Join the
get right.
coven. Joining the coven. So the coven is my inner circle. Do you want to hang out with me a little bit more and make some more magic and get tons of perks? Oh my gosh. Remember, we were talking about that discount of the 15% off. Well, coven members get that discount for the whole week, but they get 20% off instead of 15% off. That's just one of the perks of being in the coven. And right now we have a special deal where you can join the Wicked Witch level of the coven for 1 week for free. You can try it out. What you will get is you will get those awesome discounts. You will get access to coven only candles and other things that we have. You'll get to vote on the candle that we release next. You'll get a discount on a reading with me. If you want a one-on-one reading with me, I'm giving a 50% off coupon to coven members for the rest of the month. So if you join now, you can take advantage of that. Book an appointment with me at 50% off. What else do we have at the Wicked Witch level? They get
They'll get to join us next week at the Spirit Speakeasy. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Spirit
Um,
Speakeasy next week.
yeah, we also have
Spirit
there's so
Speakeasy
much
is my
stuff.
Q&A. What?
Yeah. You get full replays of all the Q&As as well. So if you can't make it on Sunday night, or if you asked a question and didn't hear the whole answer or want to listen to it again, you'll get to do that when you're a Coven member. And there's Q&As going back years on the Coven, because we've been pushing out some retro Q&As from the archives as well every now and then. So
You'll
there's
see
just
me
like
when
a
I was
gold mine
younger
of
and
stuff.
cuter. You see me?
You can watch Madame Pimita's hair grow and then get shorter and then get longer again.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
so
there's so much fun stuff there.
it's just a way for us to have more interaction and more like more intimate interaction in the sense that it's smaller groups. I get to answer your questions. I get to give you more attention. There's lots of things that you can participate in. So I encourage you, why not do it free for a week? If it's not for you, you can do it for a week and then cancel it. If it is for you, you can stay and you can go up to a higher level with more perks or a lower level with fewer perks. And it's up to you, but you can start at that Wicked Witch level and try it out and see, get to know all the cool stuff that's happening at the Coven. And really, I want to tell you something. This is my Patreon. The Coven is my Patreon, but I wanted to make the Patreon, lots of Patreons, and rightfully so, like you're an artist or something and you want, give an opportunity for people to support you. That's great. That's really, one of the things that Patreon does so well. But my Patreon, I wanted to actually make it a place for people who are committed to their magical education, who wanted to receive more. And so I tell you, with every level, you get more than you pay for it. So with the discounts, with the freebies, with the events, and all of the other things that you get, what you get is way more than what you pay each month. And I wanted to make it that juicy, like that you really felt like you were getting a great value for your membership in the Coven. So there you go.
I think one of the best parts too is the free community forum that you get to join once you're a member. It's such a amazing community, and there's
Super supportive.
incredible spell suggestions and people posting their spells and getting ideas from each other and trading stories and experiences and mailing each other spell ingredients from their backyards. It is incredible over there. So you really want to
Yeah.
get in on that too.
I'll tell you another thing. It's called the Spell Squad Forum. The Spell Squad Forum. It is a private forum. So I know a lot of people have like Facebook groups and things like that. I don't freaking like Facebook, to be honest with you. I know this is broadcasting over Facebook, so whatever. But I'm not crazy about Facebook. And there's a couple of things. Number one, your privacy. Your uncle, your aunt, your so-and-so, your strangers, your people, workmates can I feel like they can always see what you're doing. And so I wanted to make a really secure private place that did not have anything to do with Facebook. Not only that, I don't love Facebook advertising, spamming us with ads. That's a real annoying thing. I freaking can't stand advertising. So I wanted to make an ad-free space that you could go, that you could just focus on this, and it is private. It's come up from a platform called band.us. This platform was made for kids in high school. So it is super private. It is like for people that have like marching band or the football team or whatever. But you can do whatever on there. And I have this group on there because I wanted it to be its own standalone thing that was private, so that you didn't have to worry about like people at work or people, your friends or your great uncle Charlie seeing what you're doing. And you could post about your magic and you could post your spells, or you can just go in and check it out and lurk. That's the other thing. I mean, you can just go in and see other people's conversation. You can get as involved as you want, or not get involved and just read other people's posts. But it's a great extremely supportive place where you can post, your spells, where you can ask people questions about spell work. You can trade herbs from your backyard. You can do all kinds of things, and it's completely, completely private. So the way you get into the Spell Squad forum, there's two ways you can get in. Number one is if you do a new moon spell kit and workshop. If you do a new moon spell kit and workshop, you automatically get into the Spell Squad forum and you get that. I mean, you have access to that. The other way is for you to be in the Coven. And if you're in the Coven, we give you the link so that you can get into the Spell Squad forum and you get that. So these are the things that are, places that are totally 100% safe. They are not attached to any social media. They are not public. They are completely private. And the only people that are in there are other people that have done either the New Moon spell kit or they have and workshop, or they are in the Coven. And so it's a way for you to connect to people who are serious about their magic, who are kind, who are compassionate. It's just a very safe place. You don't have any rando people posting BS or harassing you or people spying on you and, judging you or anything like that. It is a really, really, really safe place for you to be. That was really important for me. So
it's so much fun too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're posting pictures of your spells or your magic or anything on Facebook, just know that Facebook then owns that photo. And if they wanted to use it in an ad, they could do that. So don't give them that power. Instead, coming out with a bunch of cool witches who are off the grid in terms of
Yeah.
being
This is a
found on
really, really,
fire.
yeah. This is a really safe forum because it's made for kids. I mean, it's made for kids, and that tells you what it's about. Like the little league teams use it and all this stuff because it's like it's only for the people who are invited, and you will get an invitation and you'll be able to join. But you're not going to have random strangers joining. You're not going to have fake bots joining. You're not going to have any of the hassles that we have on social media. This group is very, very curated and it's very safe. And you can also create it. You can do it on your phone or you can do it on a computer, but you can also set up alerts so that if you post something and you'll get a little notification if you want when somebody answers your question and that. So it's not like you have to remember to go there. You can get reminders, and these notifications. So yeah, good
There's
thing.
no mysterious overlords watching everything you do. It's just us.
Yeah, yeah, we're the mysterious overlords.
Yeah.
Not so mysterious. All right,
There goes
Alex
the
had a question. Yeah, exactly. Alex had a question.
there's a
Um,
two-part reading.
Alex, what my question is, what new career endeavor should I lean into? One is more business based and one is more creative based. All right, let's take a look and see. I'm going to pull two cards because you did two cards. I'm going to pull one for business and one for creative, and we'll see what they turn into. Now, when we ask an either or question, I call them crossroads question, like which way should I go? Should I go to the east or to the west, right? Crossroads question. Know that sometimes, just like your path of choice, sometimes both choices are good. So you might not get a yes, no answer. You might get yes, yes answer, that this one brings this and that's good. And this one brings that and that's good. You might get a yes or no answer. Do this one, don't do that one right now, right? Or you might get a no. And if you get a no and a no, it means there's something else besides these two options that you need to seek out. So, all right, let's take a look at Alex's question. It's a yes, yes. Two
Okay.
really strong choices. I'm telling you, they are very strong choices. Okay. So the first one is the business-based one, and the Lovers card shows up. Lovers card is about having a partnership and a real team. So if you're going to do the business one, I would suggest that you really create a team. You have perhaps with the business option, you have a bunch of skills, but there may be some skills that somebody else has that's going to make a complete whole here. Meaning, let's say you are the one that's the ideas person, but you need somebody that's like more of like the finance person, and the two of you come together and you have a great success in doing this. If you have an idea who that partner is, or you're already on that path, this is really supporting that idea of having a partner and doing this with someone else. The two of you are going to create something beautiful. That's this angel that's like looking over the Adam and Eve figure here. There may be some, hurdles that you have to overcome to start a business. That's that mountain in the background, but you'll overcome those obstacles because you have this divine energy around and you guys have everything it takes to overcome those obstacles. What I do think is that if you're by yourself doing it, the obstacles might be too much. If you're one or the other and you're doing it by yourself, it may be a little bit too much for one person to handle, but two people can handle it. So I think what you have to do is, if you're thinking of that business, you want to bring in a partner, you want to bring someone who has the strengths where you don't have the strengths, and vice versa, and you find that perfect match where you can bring that together. So my Gemini sun. So my Gemini sun. Yeah. So then, that's Alex is your son. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, this is the Gemini card, by the way, Alex. Yeah, Devon's son is Alex. So yeah, okay, perfect, right? So bring in that partnership to do it, and you can have a really, really successful, business if you do it that way. And I think that's what you want to think about, is that you need that twin energy. I mean, that's what this card is about. It's the twins. It's the Gemini card. And so you want to have that partner that really gets you, but has the strengths where you perhaps don't have the strengths. I mean, it could be your mom, it could be someone else, it could be, who knows who it is. You might know who it is. And if you have an idea who that partner is, then you'll be in the right place to do that. Now, as for the creative one is very strong too. These are two really strong cards. So it's like now your decision is, which one feels easier, which one feels more productive. I mean, there's no bad choice here. So now you get to choose freely, and you can choose the one that calls to your heart. Maybe you do both of them. I mean, if you're a Gemini and you're both Geminis, isn't that funny? That's wild. Um, if you're Gemini, you might want to have, both things going on. Geminis are great multitaskers. They love to have lots of things going on. They love lots of irons in the fire. So maybe the choice is not making a choice, but doing both at the same time. And if you have the energy for that, I know, Alex, you're really young, you're vibrant, you have the energy for doing this. The Chariot card is moving you forward into your path. I mean, this is mastery. Like your creative endeavor is really, you're ready for it. Mastery means you're ready to move forward, you're ready to go for it, and the path is clear for this. So if you want to pursue that creative one and do the business one too, you can do both. As a Gemini, you can do both. I mean, I wouldn't even say you need to make a choice. Do both of them. Why not? Make one, maybe emphasize one or the other, but keep the other one going too. I mean, both of them have such good energy. I wouldn't say don't do this one. They're both great. So maybe do both. If you're Gemini, you can do both. You guys, you Geminis are really good at that. I get multitasking. Multitasking is overwhelming for me. I get pulled off track, and then I screw something up and I forget to do something. It's hard for me. But I mean, I have Gemini in Mars and Venus. So I like Gemini. I love Gemini energy. I love being in that environment, but I don't know that I'm great at multitasking. Would you
My moon is in
assessment agree?
Gemini, so I think I'm great at multitasking.
You love multitask. Well, let me ask you something. Do you think I have problems with multitasking, right?
I think you have a passion for multitasking, maybe too much of a passion for it, right?
But I'm not good
You've
at
got
it.
too
I
many
think I'm
tasks going at all
I
times.
know, I know.
You've got
I
the
love to
best
keep
of ambitions,
I mean,
yeah.
I will tell you something that for me personally, I always feel like I have my dream job is to come up with ideas, but have other people execute those ideas. And I've kind of
Yeah.
made that situation, but I haven't quite mastered the part of getting
Yeah,
everybody
we're
else to
gonna
do
take
it. I'm
your
still doing all
job.
that. Yeah,
We're gonna get the rest
exactly.
of the wheels in that car and make that
I know, I
happen.
know. So anyway, I think Alex, I think you can do both of those. I think both of them have great energy around them. Why not do both? I mean, why not? It's like I mean, I'm honestly multitasking in that way, honestly doing that because I'm like doing my book, which is a very creative thing, but I'm also working at my job, which is the business part of it. So I think about like, well, I can do both. I like doing both. I like having that variety and putting that in there. So I think having those two things, I don't think a narrow path for a Gemini is the best option. Gemini needs lots of stimulation. You need lots of intellectual stimulation. And so to conquering a business and working on a creative project are just maybe what you need to do is do both because both are very open and successful energy around them. So yeah, but you need a partner with the business. Why? Like that's the one thing you need over there is a partner, and having that team is going to help that to go forward. I don't think you need a team with the creative thing. I think you just need to go, get those sphinxes on the road and let's go. So
Yeah, I'm definitely getting big do both vibes too. And I think like I know for me, like you were saying, I need both. If I'm only doing creative, then I get really lazy and I get really like unmotivated and uninspired. When I have this other thing keeping me busy and keeping me on my toes, it makes me feel really energized, really inspired, and really excited to get creative. And it makes that creative time feel even better, right? Because it's like a treat. I pulled this card that says trust. So trust which one feels right. Do you feel like a business person or do you feel like a creative person? Or do you feel like somebody who's got two hats that they get to wear sometimes both at the same time? Right.
yeah, yeah.
And I like that this is like two hands touching because it's like, yeah, there are two parts of you. You do have that duality. And so you can do both of these things, but there's like stuff growing out of these hands. So focus on what feels organic, focus on what feels natural and what comes easy to you. And I'm very much getting the sense that like neither of these things are going anywhere. So if you want to do one now, the other one, it's not going anywhere. You can do it later, or you can incorporate it into the one that you do choose later. So don't feel if you do make a very like binary decision, don't feel like that's the decision that's going to rule the rest of your life. It won't.
I kind of almost think that having the partner in the business helps you be able to manage both of them. Because if you were maybe if you were
100%.
trying to do both and really do both super effectively, but when you have another person over there, I think that it's like you do half of the work over there. So it's really one and a half jobs. Oh, that is great to hear because I was planning on doing both, but I didn't want to get it over my head. Yeah, it's like perfect. Yeah. So I think having the partner is like it's not two jobs now, it's one and a half jobs. It's one and a half visions. So you have the whole vision of the creative thing, but you only have half of the business thing because you're going to bring in that other person. So that's how you won't get over your head. So yeah.
And I think if you
Uh,
don't have that other person yet, it's okay to start getting started and take a temperature and see like where do I feel like I am out of my zone here? Where am I over my head? That's the person I need help from. So, it's okay if you have to like start the journey on your own. Just know that you're not gonna be able to carry it all for the whole time.
yeah. And you may have some people might, or you might even want to do like some, kind of spiritual work to attract that perfect partner, really put that
Mm,
out there in terms of your
right.
affirmations or your spell work or your intentions of like, I want to build this business and then bring someone in so that we can do it together. And if you don't have an idea who that person is, don't worry because you will soon draw that person in. All right. I think that's it for today, right? We have no more.
That's
Let's
all we've
see.
got.
50, 60, 800, 160, 160. We are helping 4 grannies today. That is awesome.
Amazing.
4 grannies. 4 seniors in Ukraine are getting fed because of you guys. You guys are so awesome. You are so awesome. That's right. That's what I was going to remind everybody. We didn't talk about our favorite game. We'll tell you our favorite game after we say
Oh,
this. The full length readings and spell work. If you liked this little sample reading, or you're watching this later and you'd like a private reading, maybe you have something that's a little more sensitive. You don't want to put it out in the live stream, or you'd like a more in-depth reading. You can book a reading with me, Madam Pamita, with the Love Witch, and with the other readers, Honoreo B and Miss Kelly over at the Parlor of Wonders. We've got a whole group of great readers over here, and we would love to help you with your situation, have a private one-on-one with you. We do readings over Zoom, phone. Some of us do email readings or recorded readings. We have lots of options for you that fit with what you would like. And even in-person readings. I do in-person readings on Saturdays and here in LA. So you can have a reading with us. If you want a reading with me at half price, go over to the Coven. If you join the Coven, you can get it right now through the end of the month. It's just another couple days. You can get a reading with me for 50% off, 45-minute or 60-minute reading. So let's talk about our game before we go. So we are obsessed. Oh my God, we're obsessed. In fact, what I'm going to do is I have a couple little work business things I've got to do. And then I'm going to treat myself to like an hour or two of game playing. There's a game called Wild Flowers, spelled WYLDE, Wild Flowers. It is a game that you can get on Apple Arcade. So if you have an iPhone and you have an Apple Arcade account, it's free to play, no ads, no, give us 50 cents and we'll give you some gold coins so you can buy this thing. You have none of that BS, which I cannot stand in a video game. You can also get it over on Nintendo Switch, and you can get it on, I think,
on
Xbox
Steam
or
as well.
what?
It's on
Steam. Oh,
Steam.
on Steam as well. So you can play on your PC, maybe on your Mac too. But what this game is a farm sim and life sim. So you go in as a young woman, you're going to an island to help your grandma, and she's got a little farm, and she lives in this little island with about 30 people, not that many people. And you go in to help on your farm, but what you discover is that grandma is a witch and that you are a witch too, and grandma is going to teach you how to do witchcraft. It is so
So
much fun.
fun.
And then you can have romances with some of the island people. It's all kinds of fun. Nothing beyond G-rated. It's totally G-rated, but it's like a really sweet, fun game. And it is such a fun little game, such a positive game. And it's got witchcraft and magic and all the best magic. Eventually you can fly in a broom. No spoilers. It's in the,
You see the
advertisement.
room every day.
Yeah,
It's there the
yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, and you get to fly on a broom. I mean, you do all these things that, in witchcraft, I have not yet mastered the broom flying thing. Maybe one day, but you get to do all these fun things. So check it out. It's called Wildflowers. We're obsessed with it.
I
We're
feel
obsessed
like
with this so
the
much.
witchcraft is really well researched and respectful in it
Oh,
too.
yeah. That's the other
They
thing.
definitely did the research.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. On this island, there are people from all different
Yeah,
cultures. There are
so
people,
cool.
there's people from all these different cultures. There's people there's gay relationship, there's non-binary people, there's interracial relationships. There's all of these really beautiful things, and they're all just treated like we should treat it. Like it's just a normal part of life. These are normal. So there's no no comment on people, so your character can get together with a non-binary person, where you can get together with you're a female, so you can get together with another female, you can get together with a male, you can even get together with someone who kind of isn't quite 100% human. But I don't want to give any spoilers, so I'm not going to tell you. But that's the one I'm going for. There's also and it's like a little soap opera. It's so much fun.
It's
So I
so
encourage
fun.
you to check it out. All the places that you can find it. Just look it up. It's Wildflower, spelled Wylde. Her name is Wild. Her name is
I put a
Tara.
link in
Tara
the
Wild.
chat for everybody too,
Oh,
so they
great,
can
great. So you can check it
because
out.
I cannot endorse it enough. Like it has been
So
such a
good.
beautiful, beautiful addition to my winter. It's like chasing away my winter blues every time I open it up.
Yeah.
And it's totally working as like a great motivator for me too, because I'm like, okay, I've got to do X amount of things before I can open wildflowers because that's the rest of my day gone once I do.
I know we did. And this is how obsessed we are with this game. I call up Buchanan and I'm like, I gotta talk to you about this thing that happened in the game. Oh my God, oh my God. Has this happened to you in the game? And I started this game a few weeks before you started, right? I think I started like a week or maybe 2 weeks before you started.
It was a while.
Buchanan has now caught up and surpassed me on the game. I
You're
just
much
want to
busier
say,
than I am. I don't leave my house, so I got lots of time to spend on this
oh my
game.
God. Oh my God. It's like wild. It's totally addictive, but addictive in a great way. It's just such a positive little wintertime thing. If you can't go outside, you can go outside virtually. And it is such a fun and sweet game with such emotion and heart. It's like a little soap opera, but in a great way. And you get to
Yeah.
have like problems that you got to solve, and you got to solve them with magic. So it's a
It's
great
so
game.
fun, and
Yeah. Let
it's
us
like
know if
really
you
cozy is how I would
It's
describe
such a
it.
cozy. It's a cozy
Yeah.
sim, a life sim, cozy life sim. There's nothing really harsh in it or anything like that. It deals with some real life topics though, like it deals with like bias and being a newcomer and being a fish out of water and grief and all kinds of other stuff, but in such a way that is really affirming. And
Yeah.
it won a bunch of awards. It came out in 2022. I kind of started it, but I didn't figure out how to work it quite right. So I abandoned it and I went back to it and I figured out how to work it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we want to know next week, if you start playing Wildflowers, please let us know how you like it, because we're going to be talking about it every week
And
until,
let
I
us know
guess,
who you're dating because
let
we're
us know
very
who you're
invested in all
dating.
the different romance storylines.
I'm gonna end up dating. I mean, I'm in this version. I'm dating one person, and we're engaged now. I just want to
Oh,
point out we got engaged. I didn't,
congratulations.
but now I want to start another version on on my laptop and another version on my Switch, so I can date other
Oh, that's
people
so
and try.
smart.
So I don't want to lose this relationship. I just want to have an alternate reality over there. So, all right, you
That's so
guys, we give you our recommendation for time wasters, but it's such a joyful little respite from whatever you're doing. It's a wonderful little escape if you're, dealing with wintertime blues, or you're stuck in the house, or you just, you're dealing with heavy stuff in your life. That's what, for me, I mean, I'm dealing with my son's health stuff. And so this is a way I can just I don't have to worry about anything for a minute. So yeah.
And for me, I've always wanted to like have a garden or a farm, but without any of the manual labor. So it's my dream come true.
Well, you know what? It's so funny because we're gardening and farming on that thing. I bought seeds in real life, but I was at like
Okay.
Target and they have this whole display in the seasonal area, like a whole wall of seeds. And I'm like, I want this one and I want to grow this one. And I said, Pam, be realistic. You are not going to get out there and make a full on garden. Just pick two. So I picked sunflowers and tomatoes. I'm going to
Oh,
start
those are
my little
great.
tomatoes and I'll throw my sunflowers out there, and we'll have sunflower seeds and sunflower petals to, for the parlor wonders, and I'll have some tomatoes for my salad. So
beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, maybe let it inspire your magic, let it inspire your connection to nature. And it is very well researched on the magical part. I was listening to an interview with the woman that created it, and she said that the person that was doing the writing researched magic of all cultures. And they really
Can
do.
really
You
tell.
can learn a lot about other cultures' magic when you get into it, because people drop things about what, traditions they have in their country, and they drop foods that they have in their country and things like that. But you also get to learn like about these different magical beings, and you get to learn about traditions, and it's really good. I mean, it's really well done, and the witchcraft isn't cheesy. It actually has a basis in, real witchcraft and magic. So
Yeah,
I
and the
super
whole thing
recommend
is
it.
fully voice acted, which is something I love because, like, I like reading, but I don't like reading dialogue in games. I just skip through it. But when I can listen to it, I really pay attention. And the whole cast is like from the places their characters are from. It's really incredible. Like the diversity in this is what the way everything should be on Earth. It's so special and beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, it's a magical little island that I want to live on, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready to move
There's
there.
some issues with it, but
And there's an
but I
update
do.
coming out Wednesday, so everybody
Yeah,
has
so
to
there's new
plan
things
now
coming.
and
Yeah.
go to the new hairdresser that's coming to town.
Yeah, there's a new hairdresser coming to town. So, but also too, the voice acting is like super, super great. Like they got a big influx of money from Apple, and so they got these really high-end voice actors. So it's not cheesy voice acting. There's one guy that's like the little hermit that lives out in the woods. His voice is so good,
So
and he's
good.
like a big, big famous voice actor that did it, and he's just like so on point and perfect. And it's a game with a lot of heart. Oh, and also too, the farming, the fishing, everything, there's a whole vegetarian thing going on there. So
Yeah, so
I
cool.
used to be a vegetarian, I'm not now, but you can do a whole vegetarian thing if you want to. And you have to raise animals and decide, are you going to keep those animals? Or are you not? Are you going to turn them into meat? And I'm telling you, you want to keep your animals. You're just like, I
Right.
can't turn this cow into meat. My cow Buttercup. I can't turn Buttercup into a steak. Forget it. No way. So it's making me rethink my diet. I've been eating a lot of more fish and a lot less beef, I'll tell you that, since I've been playing this game. So bring
Yeah,
some good
it's so cool
habits.
though, like, because you cook all these different recipes, and with basically all the recipes, you can just swap out the meat for, like, tofu.
Oh yeah, they have
So it's really
tofu,
fun that you can
soy
just, like
milk.
you can
Yeah.
introduce your neighbors to vegan options if that's what you're into, and they'll love it. They
Yeah.
never complain. They think it tastes just
Seitan.
the same.
Yeah, they have seitan, they have tofu, they have soy milk. So you can make every recipe vegan. They have clothes
And
that
you
you
can
can
make
make vegan
beeswax
leather.
candles. So
And you can make beeswax candles.
every time I'm in my little candle factory, I think of you.
I don't make damn candles because that beeswax is too precious for the spells. I need it for the spells, man.
You got to make soy wax candles then,
Okay,
because
I'll make some soy wax candle. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys get started with wildflowers, and we want to hear about your adventures with it. We should start a
100%.
gaming. We're gonna start going on Twitch and Discord with our gaming, which is gaming or something. I don't know what I could call it.
That's a great
Another
idea.
idea I
Write
have.
that
All
down.
right, all right, you guys have a great evening, everyone. I'm gonna cut out, make some dinner, get some more work done, and we'll see you. If you're going to come to the new moon, new moon is later on this week, right? No? Yes? Next week?
I think it's next week, but I'm not really
Next week.
sure. So it's
Next week.
coming up.
It's coming
Get
up.
ready.
All right, you guys have a great. Yeah, that's right. We just had the full moon, so new
Yeah,
moon's
we
coming
have
in a
the
couple
first
weeks.
Sunday Witchcraft workshop 1 week from tonight. So
Yes.
you'll want to come
So
to
come
that.
and join me for that. All right, you guys have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us here, and we'll see you next week. We will be here next week. We'll be here maybe a little bit later because I have the first Sunday Witchcraft workshop, so we might be a half hour later. Okay. All right, you guys have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you. We'll see you next time.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.